We're live.
Hey everyone, we're back. Another weekly Hangout session. Go ahead and introduce ourselves. This is G Coach.
This is Jailene.
And this is Zaini Adimas.
Nige Mitchell.
Nige Ben.
Nijai Infiniti.
And Nige Glenn.
Excellent. All right, so status report, and then I'll hand it off to Jailene and Adimas to give some Mojo reading nuggets. I'm still working on the purification. I just finished up the design emails, which I think was the hump. I think that was the most intense point. I still have some more intense stuff to do, but I think that was the peak as far as difficulty. So tomorrow I'll get into Baiji emails. I expect to find several faux yin riffs that remind me of my sisters in there. But I don't think it'll be as substantial as what happened with design emails. And then it'll just keep going down from there. And then I'll go for a final pass at the end. What else? I guess you can go and check out the insights from that by watching the video where I talk about what changed. But it was very exciting overall to get a better handle on all 8 of the interpretive females. It feels much better now because we had that for the males, but not as much for the females. I feel we've taken the females forward quite a bit. That new 2K that had so many actresses, it definitely really upped our overall lens as far as tracking the female mojos, particularly interpretives. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and hand off to Jailene for a Mojo reading nugget, and then Adimas, and then we'll get to the quiz.
Yeah, so my nugget is about how I suppose, would you say that the principle is that Jai helps you with stabilizing when doing a read?
I actually think the best way to do it is kind of just do what you're doing to us earlier, is kind of talking it through. I've mentioned before that certain reads are easier for different mojos because of how they're designed. So as an IG, I have a lot of sensitivity as far as picking out configuration and also what people's motives are and things like that. But sometimes the sensitivity, the way it's set, it can make looking at uncomfortable cases difficult. The HSP can make it harder to look at those who may be in a bad state, a toxic state, mentally not where they need to be, and so forth. And one thing I know is that Jailene, over the years, she's consistently been very strong on those. Because those reads, a lot of times, it's not necessarily being able to like pull a read because they're so tricky. It's actually, you cannot get your soul to actually come to the right place. I get a word for it I really like, remember?
It was, I forget.
It's okay, but if it comes to you,
Yeah.
go ahead and jump in with that. But basically, being able to get your soul in the right space, to have the right quasi-state to be able to just get the read. A lot of times, it can be not necessarily a very challenging read technically if you can just get yourself to be, a steady enough spirit. So that's something that Jailene's very good with, and she was telling us about how a person moved her today, and her ability to linger on this person's case and not be turned off by it is really a great gift. And I'd like her to talk a little bit about that anecdotal story you had, and then kind of relating to that, like how it goes with Mojo reading. I think we can all just learn, like as you do it, we can kind of learn from your experience, and we can talk to our spirits and try to get that place ourselves.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, so one thing that me being Jaini, that's very present in my mind, and I'm sure it's for other mojos as well. But it's treating human beings with dignity and like recognizing a soul, I guess a soul that's trying to be harmonious despite the outer appearance, maybe the physical appearance or the healthiness of their body and so forth, and being able to recognize that. Like, when is this? Like,
you see like the real beauty of their spirit, and not maybe other things may think it's ugly. In fact, when I hear you talk about it, I feel ugly that I would see another creature as ugly. It really kind of elevates. I really like that.
Yeah, because a lot of what I think occupies my mind is what's savable, like what's too toxic and I tend to think in terms of, like metaphysical, in the metaphysical sense. That's the primary thing. It manifests itself physiologically as well. But like I what's a healthy metaphysical state, and then like what is like that line of like when you can't save a soul anymore metaphysically, which is why I think like a lot of shiny are like really fascinated about like serial killers and reading about like cases of people like with extreme mental illnesses or whatever it is.
Have a lot of trauma.
Yeah, a lot of trauma in their life, and like because
all those things can make reading more challenging. So your ability to actually hone in on that and actually resonate with that really helps it, because otherwise I notice if I don't have like Nexi Serenity to give me that I want to pull away and look away too soon and not give it its dignity, like you were saying. A lot of times to read properly, you have to give something its dignity even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was actually a couple of days ago, I went to pay a bill, and while I was I went into this place, and there were a few people at the counter paying their bills too, and there was one guy, even before I even looked his way, I could feel like a lot of like anxiousness, anxious energy, and so I looked up, and it was this man who he was in like sort of a state of disarray, like discombobulated. And then I was looking closer, like I could tell that he was in like the terminal stages of a pretty ravaging disease, maybe HIV or something like that. But physically he had a very uncomfortable appearance. Yeah, he had a large hunch. He had lesions all over his body, and he had a cane, and he was, obviously in a bad physical state. And the thing about it is, but he was trying this whole time, because I could tell like there was this nervous energy, because he was very, very aware of how uncomfortable like his appearance made other people feel. And so he was making a conscious effort to stay like really up and like really like light of spirit. Like when he was he was feeling anxious, though. I could tell, because he actually it seemed like he dropped his paper on the ground, and then he had to go to the ATM because to grab some cash for because the place only accepted cash, so he was a little discombobulated about that. So he walked over to the ATM, but as he was walking over to the ATM, he was humming, like singing, and he was singing humming the whole time he was at the ATM, and that was a signal. I think if he weren't doing those things that he was doing, like people might turn on him. But like there was this tension in the place, but everyone was still hadn't like turned off towards him completely, because he was so up and high of spirit. But so when he came back to pay, he came behind me, and I was turned to walk away. And as I did, because it's still like people were sort of, like they weren't getting too close, they weren't like doing eye contact, and he was keeping his eyes down too, I think, because he realized how uncomfortable he made people feel with the physical appearance. But he looked, I think maybe because he felt safe. I don't know, sometimes people have these reactions to me, and I don't know if it's like because I'm a shiny, but I do know that I make people feel safe in my presence. People tend to open up more. But he looked up at me, and I think he looked like he was an IG, but he sort of like, we had a moment of like just looking at each other, like, and then I smiled at him, and I was like, it's okay, like, sorry,
Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
Like, my Jai was
That's
up.
hard.
Like, it actually like welled up a lot more earlier. It's like like something that kind of feels like a wave inside. I'm sure you're familiar with Needy, and you guys too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're unconscious, but yeah. So and he smiled back, and I think for that moment at least, like he felt like even when I left, like his energy was like more centered. I think just because someone, recognizing him as like a human being, like independent of his appearance, his physical health, that he was still a beautiful soul.
Thank you very much,
Very sweet.
That's something we should all keep in mind. I know.
Yes. Yes.
Some of the more challenging samples, particularly, they're uncomfortable for some reason because of the way they live their life or so forth, is I try to keep in mind, like, the spirit, like Jailene has there, and thinking, like, there's beauty in this person. There's something defined, lovable. And that's a high state to get into, and some samples make that very challenging, but I think it's always attainable, and it's always actually a good idea to try to achieve that way of looking at another creature, even one that they challenge you as far as, like, I don't like a human being in that state, or I don't like them doing those things, I don't like that kind of development, but still, they are human, and there's a lot more to love than there is to be displeased with. And so I think Jai is really great at kind of keeping that hopeful mindset. Hopefulness.
Yes, it is.
That's important to Mojo reading. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jailene.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And empathy. Demas? Yes, Beth, as well.
Okay. This has to do with, well, the headspace that you're going at when we're taking in a lot of updates, updating our basically Mojo reading software, purified samples. There's the challenging aspect that makes you a little wobbly, but what is undoubtedly there that actually kind of makes you feel a lot stronger afterward is that there's an activation of the sample where they weren't really activated in your virtual village to a point where you were actually ever getting fourth gear riffs on them.
They're kind of there.
There's a lot of like take any example.
When we talked in particular, when you mentioned this to me, was it Cummings?
Yeah, I use Whitney Cummings and I can't say that I remember ever looking at Ani's eye and getting a riff of Whitney Cummings off of her. So she has such a unique look, but it's almost like meaningless if it's not being riffed off of anything because it's standalone. So once you see the flip to Nizi, then all of a sudden it means something and it has a place on the map. It has a place in the virtual village. So
the riffs make sense. Like all of a sudden starts riffing on things.
Yeah.
Really
But only once business partners.
Yeah. Like what I was telling Coach is how I've never actually riffed on Whitney Cummings when looking at Ani's eye, but there were Nizi that reminded me of Whitney Cummings, and she even gave me kind of like shades of consciousness, kind of reminding me of like Angelina Jolie sometimes too. And there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions.
The one you looked particular was it Catapreda?
Yeah, Jade Catapreda, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, she does. They rest strongly of each other.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is kind of resources that you already had there that are now activated for the first time. The same thing is true when now you know the mojo of someone that was meaningful to you, regardless of whether they're like celebrities in movies that you like or someone that you actually know. That when you actually flip over the right perspective of what their mojo is, then all of a sudden all that experience with them becomes activated as useful resources. I had a relationship with this mojo.
We were talking about that actually also about, like, for example, in the show we watch, which is Bering Sea Gold, is we're following it, it's really riveting, and the stories of these people's lives has gotten our attention. And we had the one main female protagonist as Nizai, she's actually Nizi, and that now means that we're watching a different story. It's really cool now.
And it fits in.
It fits, and it makes so much more sense, and it's just a better story because it's the actual story, not the one you thought it was. Cool.
Yeah, so that's it.
And was there anything else? I thought you had one more. You made a cool word up. It was awesome. A new cube.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because we found a lot of Genii females, and the Genii females, they do the sexy, you know what I mean?
A lot of them are supermodels.
They're supermodels and actresses, so they do a lot of maneuvers like the adapters do, and one of them is
the Pika Jet.
You know, the
Pika Jet.
Yeah, they do. You know the Pika They do, but they jump over the shoulder.
Yeah, and it's like very showy.
The Pika Jet.
That's great.
You gotta have hers of that as well. Super cool. Y'all set that? Okay. If you guys have any thoughts, feel free to throw them in. But if not, we'll go ahead and move on. Let's get to the quiz then.
Okay. I'll be calling out Emil's.
Second. Yeah. Where are these listed?
Wait, you mean the...
Yes. Are there? What was the date on that?
Oh.
8 something or 9 something?
9/7.
Boom. There you go.
Okay. Well. Okay. I'll call him out. I said for Natasha Barnard, I said Genii.
I said Zaini.
I said Vijay.
I also said Vijay.
I said Vijay.
I said Zaini.
Okay. Natasha Barnard is Genii.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Me. Like
I think after Coach said,
yeah, I think
I started opening my.
I opened that up.
Genii, and I
Interesting.
put my mind to that, and I started
There's a
seeing
new player
here.
We should probably review her.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Review. Yeah.
A part of this feels right, but it's like I feel so unfamiliar with this riff that I don't
Right.
feel secure. Yeah.
We need more exposure.
I don't know. I was between like Shiny and Vijay.
Yeah.
Jazz Alpha.
I thought we were seeing Jai.
I did consider Genii, but I didn't see it. I guess.
Yeah, like myself, I just haven't enough experience, but now I've gotten a lot more of it. You'll be as well as you work with these action samples, and you'll start really getting it. And nice, we only have 5 samples, so you can probably take a look at all of them tonight.
Yeah. The next one is Vanessa Behrs, and I said Nizi.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai too.
And Emil said Jaini. Nijai. You guys are right.
Nijai.
That one was pretty obvious.
I don't know why I went off the reservation.
It happens.
I double checked.
Which one did you say, Jailene?
I said Nizi.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
that's another.
Well, you got the other one.
Beth. Yeah, maybe I wanted to see all of them as the directives. Beth Behrs. I said Jaivi.
I said Nizai.
I said Jaini.
I said Nizai.
I said Nizai.
I said Nizai.
Okay. She is Nizai. Okay. Dierks Bentley. I said Nijai.
Vaiji.
I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
I said Naishi.
Oh, sorry. Emil said Nijai.
It is Nijai.
Ooh.
Wow.
I had a feeling this was affecting.
Knows.
You seem kind of different to me.
I'm just glad I got the dancing eyes right.
Stephanie Drake. I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nizai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
I said Nijai.
And Emil said Nizai. She is Nijai. Okay. Very good fights.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Fun week.
Yeah.
Does 5 hit the sweet spot?
Yeah, once again, as well, I was going to ask you guys what your feedback was about it. So,
Yeah, I wanted to. I felt like it was a good amount. I didn't quite.
Let's finish this up real quick here, and then we'll chat about it.
Oh, we're done. We're done.
We're done. Okay, great. Good.
We're all set.
Open the screen up then. Cool. Yeah, you're saying, Glenn?
I was just saying. I remember I did like. I went more of a relaxed kind of pace, just kind of doing whenever I felt like it, because I felt like there was fewer samples to work with, and so I kind of like throughout the week I would check one sample, then another one, and then it kind of made for a much more enjoyable sort of. And then I was able to do a lot of other work done too, and then it was, I thought it was good, as long as it's like you're making sure that you're getting the most out of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Out of the entire experience.
And one thing said Eagle Eye did. What was that?
Yeah. So Eagle Eye did something cool when he sent in his quiz answers. He actually sent in what he apparently he went through his reads 4 times, and he went through the guesses for each one of his read-throughs, and then the one for the final submission.
Kind of showing where he updated
where his head was at,
and where he changed his answer and so forth. Which is really kind of cool because you basically kind of tracking that mental chatter that we do on our live reads here. It's really kind of cool to track where your head was and where your honest sense and where you lost it.
It's so interesting. Yeah, like with Beth Behrs, who is an Eye. He actually on his first read through he said Naiji, and then he changed her to Nizai, which was the right answer, and then he changed her in the
Oh, he was on it. He was on it for a second. This is good.
This is good.
You can track where you're at.
Yeah, that's what's great about tracking your work, not just tracking your statistics, but also notes and stuff. You can reverse engineer what you did and kind of be like, all right, that was good there. Let's take it from there next time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it seems like 5 might be good. We want it to be challenging but enjoyable. That's a sweet spot where it's a demanding, rigorous thing. You can be proud that you're doing it, but you basically get into a place of artistic appreciation, enjoyment on a regular basis. That's what we want to do.
I really like this setup, I must say.
Do we want to add one more, bring it up to like 6, or do we really want to keep it hardcore at 5?
My plan.
I was just thinking that.
My plan, that as you know, is actually go with 5 to 10.
Okay.
And it's going to be fluid. But what we're going to do is we're going to base it off of something we're into. A lot of times we'll pick like different shows or a band or whatever, and usually they'll have 5 or more. We'll cap it at 10.
Okay, so that way you're kind of canvassing a whole,
It'll kind of be. It makes it fun to like canvas like, ooh, all the people on that show, all the people who are in that or thing or whatever. So that's usually how we do it here, and we'll start trying to incorporate that more.
Very good.
So it'll be 5 to 10. We'll try to keep it around, 6, 7 in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent.
Excelente. Alrighty. So.
Probably want to take a look at the first one was an interesting one.
That's a G9. Yeah. Pull that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had her as a Naiji at one point because I thought that I was saying.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but then I changed it.
I need to understand why she was a G Mojo, not a Jai Mojo. That's what I first need to understand.
Mojos don't show up too much here. Interesting. Whatever this kind of like the supermodel thing is, the Vijay kind of do like their own thing.
Vijay though.
Yeah, but they show their own kind of area, like these main like supermodel ones.
But they do show up a lot in runway. Runway.
Vijay.
Yeah, because like Kylie Jenner, or one of the Jenners. No, looking at her and looking at the other models that during that fashion week, they all have that sort of gatherer.
Maybe, but the data doesn't back it up so far.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting. All right.
I mean, they may be, but
maybe the working.
Possibly, but not the named ones that I looked up because they were famous enough to be getting
maybe
a radar.
Those are more pure.
But so far, it actually looks like it's Gina, then Naiji and Zaini are about a tie right now, but the Jinai definitely are the top in the supermodels. And then Bijai seem to be doing some other kind of thing.
Okay.
Let's go ahead here. All right. Even right there, I tell you, that is a knowing look.
Oh, here's the link.
So look for the knowingness of the look. Also, the lips. They use their lips a lot more for effect than Jai do. I mean, Jai has an effect on you, but they don't do it on purpose. She's doing hers on purpose. Go ahead.
Got it.
I'm 21 years old and I'm from Witbank. You know, you always get the stereotype of people thinking you're from Witbank, and then you totally surprise them, you know, which is actually a good thing, because they think, oh, Witbank, you're going to be this dodgy girl, and then you just yourself, and they think, wow, this girl is amazing because she's from
Witbank. It's important to know they almost all of them have a
Witbank.
significant amount of side to make their game very
Actually, I moved
smooth
to
and
Cape
elegant.
Town straight after school. I had an agency there. I never really thought about Johannesburg. I just moved to Cape Town.
They keep their
a year
hands
and a half
still a
ago.
lot, but if you notice,
And
there
then,
is more
I
tension
had
in
the
the way
urge
you
to
hold
go
yourself.
I do have a boyfriend. I'm very picky. Sometimes I don't really know what I go for. I think I believe in people just having, you know, to match. And sometimes it's something.
Pay a lot of
sometimes you have
attention to the
things that
lips and how
you
they
normally
move.
don't like about people.
How much effect
This
they
guy
have.
has it, and you actually like it about her. But I like a guy who treats me well. I like a gentleman. I'm very, you know, small town girl, so I like the, you know,
It's also good to get
Prince
used to it as far as
Charming
drinking
kind
in the
of.
butter.
Yeah,
So that you like
definitely.
female.
But also, you know, us girls, we like the bad boys sometimes. But
Notice her
always,
shoulder shrugs
try
on
to go for the
elegant.
good
They're a little
guy.
more
You know, I've
twitchy
done a lot of
than a Nemo,
lingerie,
not as
a lot
bobbly,
of swimwear, but nothing
light.
in this league where it has to be appealing to guys. It's always, you know, try and sell, you know, the lingerie. So they don't want you to look so sexy that the women think they're never going to even buy it because they're not going to look like that. So this is something totally different. You get to be sexy and
with the G9 female, since it's so new to a lot of you,
push you to
this
the
new
limit. So
riff
sometimes I say,
tracking
no, that's a
is
bit
it'll
too
help
sexy.
probably see a
This
few
is
more of them.
all out.
Right.
Try and be as sexy as you can.
But trust me, you're going to be seeing quite a few of them coming up in these
It's
places.
definitely a challenge, and I love that.
Okay, let's see what you guys can pick out. Go ahead and go whatever order, but definitely at Charlie and Dimas, make sure you chime in something. Then anyone else? Remember, we're working a bit. Oh, yeah, we're going to also try to work on the moderating system a bit, because at some point I'd like to maybe add in a few more people. So I'm going to start using Jailene and Dimas a bit to do a little bit of just moderating as far as like how we do the speaking and everything. Pride doesn't need much at all right now, but I would like to get some kind of more formalizing of it, just so we can actually maybe add on a few more members in the future if that would actually be manageable. And I think it could be. So,
yeah.
Anywho, that's really just kind of experimental right now, but it's something I'd like to get. I'd like to add on some more people, but I also have, like, you know, control issues and so forth. So I like to make sure everything's like cool as we add in more volume of persons. All right.
Of course.
Go ahead, take it away. Second clip. Just make sure you guys chime in, and then see if you can. If other people let them come in as they want, and then maybe prompt other people who haven't at the end to know that they have spoken. You know, to make sure they.
When I hear budget, I think they're complicated. I think sadness, scary. I think I'm over budget. I need to.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is with that mouth is like just getting used to like not associating that maybe with like a Jai, Jai, or Jai V,
So that's my type of
or Jai.
Longo, where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Benoni, which is just up.
She's back there when she was speaking. There was a lot of warm articulation. I noticed it went into her cheeks. It also went into her eyes. So I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yes, we really do a lot where their lips do this, kind of pucker up.
Yeah, they pucker up.
Their cheeks go up, pucker cheeks, and there's like a crinkle around their feline eyes. it's interesting because it's a directive, but it's like one of their go-to sexy moves, very charismatic, and it's very, very effective. And you don't really see the adaptive ladies doing it so much.
Longer, where I'm from. I'm actually from Benoni, which is just outside of Johannesburg. We got robbed too many times in Johannesburg, so my family moved down to the south coast of Durban, which is really beautiful, and that's why I had my like teenage years. That's why I like the beach so much.
You really see Aware in the way she like kind of seduces the camera. So like the connection between her eyes and mouth.
I agree that people are really wonderful, but actually my favorite thing is actually
it's very like full face. You can like even see like the eyebrows are kind of like in on the expression.
Yeah.
It's always something I always try to notice with discernment leads, especially Jed's alpha. G alpha in this case.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone eats as well as you do. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You as well. Love your boobs. Your boobs. I mean, yeah, everyone loves my boobs. Come on.
There's a lot of jutting. Warm jutting.
A lot of people have good boobs.
That's true. Yeah.
I think my worst is probably the fact that I'm very impatient to a point where it actually irritates me. I hate people who drive slow, just really kind of. My worst habit is that I drink way too much red wine for my own good. Too much.
She seems really
that's a bad thing.
sophisticated, elegant, kind of not as like heavy with the G, kind of more with the Xi, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the one thing
more of a slinky.
Slinky, exactly. That's how you know it is. Is it
come hither a little bit, but it is still like fierce and feline and out there, though it's more of like.
But it's smooth. It's almost very hypnotic and seductive. But the movements, even when they do it, that slinkiness is kind of that broken rhythm, but stylized to be smooth and almost like everything's okay. But it is, they definitely move more like this, not this kind of movement that the knee does. Like it looks like their body's juggling energy. They always look like they're kind of weaving in and out like this. The Naiji faux yin do that too. Actually, Naiji and Zina as well.
I think that although this is a good thing, to some extent it's a bad thing. I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I need to hang out with you more. Yeah, I can be on time.
Yeah, big laugh. Do you guys want to see another one? Are you good? What do you think?
I think I'm good on here, on her.
I'm probably okay.
Okay. Cool.
Bless you. Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, he was also tricky.
Yeah, in this case, I want to see the unaware mouth versus the aware.
Yeah. Gosh, one of the best things for me is this new talent I did. It's natural, still like, every label has 3 intense music to grow. The 2 streets are just packed full of publishing houses and record labels, and all the studios were booked. It's just crazy town in Nashville. CDs were still selling through the roof. And now the industry's changed so much because everyone had a stream on. Now you want Music Row, like condos, banks, and 3 labels left in Nashville. And
I was thinking Justin Timberlake. Or when I was reading him.
It's changed a lot.
It was actually my second guess.
It's fun to be a Music Row. It really was just strictly that, just music. Now everyone's had to.
Here, I can see his hands.
I guess the biggest change has been that.
Those are a little loose for those who are thinking music directive.
They're
kind of floppy on his hands there.
Money, but I will say it's produced a whole new group of these kids that are so scrappy.
He's got more of the bobble energy. It's like going side to side around like this, not much switch forward.
They can play the computer. They know Pro Tools like the back of their hand.
That slight head toss was back to the right. You see it was very quick. It was a toss back to his side.
All this stuff, it's just so. it's exciting for me. On my record,
Charlie, could I get the link?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Record he's ever produced. I got turned on him because the demo he did for a song bank. But I thought the demo was great. I found out he did the demo at his house. So just working with someone that really understands a lot of the new technology and isn't scared of it, really embraces it, is exciting.
What happens behind the vision when you know the artist drops the floor?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the fact you've been pretty vocal about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens around you and your people and you as an artist?
Sure.
And then you as a businessman too. What goes on?
Yeah. No, I think there's times when someone puts a record out and it doesn't work, they try to kind of hide behind it. But I'm really proud of the fact that the Bourbon in Kentucky out. I knew
what would you say, like, are your biggest views of
radio,
whether he has a Aware or an Aware map? Because I sort of instinctively saw...
Well, there, he's going to his right. He's noting on the right.
Dark chords.
And his cheeks are, he's actually fairly anvil when he's talking.
Yes.
Have bounce anvil.
And that's what you try to...
He talks quite a bit, but his jaw seems a bit lazy in a way. His mouth seems...
It didn't work, which is fine. We just kind of pulled everything back.
And he holds himself quite still, I've noticed.
That's important. I was going to mention that a lot of these music artists, Nijai, particularly, I don't know if he's country music or not, but a lot of these, a lot of these country music Nijai males have a noticeable more about of like vibe poise to them, a little more stiffness or stillness than, say, the Nijai and hip hop and rock and the other places you see them.
Interesting. Here, I just spent a whole year on the road and ran, having the best time. A really cathartic tour, and I wanted those songs, kind of that feeling to make it on
When I
the
see the country music guys, there's Nijai, obviously, but the other two main ones are Nijai and Vaiji. And ironically, it's for me, I often have to tell it to really zone in to see if I'm singing Nijai or a Vaiji, because the Vaiji males who are country singers tend to have a lot of knee. And the Nijai males who are country singers tend to have a lot of vibe.
Yeah, they're even doing a lot of like squinting.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's what threw me because I was really considering Nijai as very calming.
Yeah,
but the thing that actually kind of, he did way too much squinting. I was like, I didn't.
Yeah, I had that too. I confused the squinting with like just like how Nye Alpha do that, like when they get on interviews, things like that.
You know, who's their guy? Wolverine kind of does that.
But here he's definitely
Jackman.
That was underwater. That 1,000-yard he just did was underwater, and look how long he can drink in. There, he's doing it again. That's underwater. Right there's underwater.
Obviously, my dad passing away.
He does not look sure.
There have been other events as well that they're writing in that.
It looks more like a reach for him to get there too.
Not that long. He's got a lot of vibe and jive.
At the same time, it's a lot of gratitude.
But here, he's looking right now. He can drink it easily.
That song just explores some really,
He reminds me of actually, if you shave him and give him a Euro accent, does he seem like the one that band with is it Drige? Something Drige. It's a band. It's I think it's the brother and sister. It's a Niji female.
But on the flip side, you do have
no, it's not Monsters and Men. It's another band.
I saw the sun and it opened up my eyes.
It's a bass.
Not his face. Sorry. No, they're new. The lead singer, she's a female. She's Niji. She has glasses.
I think the record. I hope for the whole listen to the record, it's inspiring. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
The Knife. The band. Yeah, he looks like the guy from The Knife.
You think so?
If he took his scruffy beard off, he looks like him.
Get there, you kind of have to go down some dark roads first. You can't just have
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
I was particularly how still he is and the squareness of his face. He has a square jaw. A lot of Nijai males have the softer, rounder jawline. He has the more angular cheekbones and chin line of that guy from The Knife.
Three girls singing tall boys.
And he also has the pale blue eyes, I believe,
Who I am,
that drink in while being quiet or kind of still. So, big difference is the other guy wasn't talking most of the time, but they both kind of sat still a lot and drank the environment.
Beers and, try to get that stuff into our records because I want it to be a full look at who I am, who we are. I am as an artist and who we are as a band.
See another video?
Yeah.
Did you get him, Joe?
Yeah.
think you'll start dialing in on this after you see a few more of these Nijai country singer guys. They have these country singer Nijai males. I think you'll start dialing in once you see a few more of them because they have a lot of similarities. Even like the way he sat in the chair, the way he kept his hands on his legs still most of the time, the way his head bobbled in like a really tiny rotation pattern. You see who's bobbling, it goes like hell of like very, very a pinpoint location. And he's only put a lot of bobbles like around that. So very, very, a lot of Vi stillness. But most of them.
And that can throw you off very easily.
It definitely can. But once you start seeing it, I think you'll be able to tell how much they drink stuff in, and also that he was not getting momentum from articulating, although he was doing it well.
Definitely.
This video doesn't work for me. It's a country issue, I think.
Sounds like a...
Got it. Bringing that country
detective case.
The country issue.
There's a balance of songs in the record, and it wasn't so much calculated. It's just a natural thing that happened. If the record had come out when it was supposed to come out in October, it would have been one thing. It would have been more of a little darker throughout. Darker throughout. We're just more heavy.
Yeah, it does have
a there, just a little more heavy. As the record was being made, that was what was happening. But then I went on the road and had this great summer of touring for Miranda, and I like trying to get back into my own life. And luckily, I mean, blessing in disguise, got me pushed back to February, so we were able to kind of go back to the first songs like more than just that one moment. There's on the road doing what we're doing right now at this level, getting a chance to headline, amphitheater, some hold 20,000 people. So it wasn't a calculated thing. It had this lightness to kind of bounce at the heavy. It just happened. And that's one of the beauties of this record. It's the timing, everything was just a real natural thing. And
yes, another thing I know that the gummy gives away, but he doesn't gesture much.
Yeah.
I like
he is also very introspective. He does a lot of 1,000 yards.
Good and bad, ups and downs. And
What do you do now in Infinity?
A lot of 1,000-yard stairs going underwater.
You were talking about, that you really want to dial in on G versus Shy, right? And his. Right. Are you able to see Shy in him versus?
Still having trouble, honestly.
Can you tell his articulation that it's cool?
Let me see if I get a freeze frame that might help out.
Yeah.
Everyone's be happy. Everyone's here to have a good time. There's no rules. All this.
Okay. One thing might be helpful in this case when you're looking for the Jai is he's actually got a lot of modulation. So you can actually look for, instead of Jai, what I'm really noticing a lot is the Z on his articulation. So you can note that a person doesn't have G by either seeing that they resonate on the right with the Jai warming, or that they articulate coolly. Either one of those lets you know that it's that dichotomy.
Right.
And his cheeks, they've been flat, I think, in everything I've been seeing on him so far. When he's talking, these cheeks kind of stay in the sheer mode most of the time. In fact, he almost kind of looks like some...
although, yeah, it's not...
Stage.
Yeah, it's still like when he smiles, it goes to his cheeks.
Okay, there we go. He laughed into himself there.
It's at a 201, Glenn.
201. And actually, at 2 exactly, I think he actually closed his eyes when he did. He closed his eyes and went into his right. Now he's got them open. His eyes are slightly to his right in a 1,000-yard stare, and he's smiling, hitching up a little to the right there.
And you know what else I think? I'm looking at some pictures of him. It seems as though he's more. You can see the Jai a lot more in the pictures.
Yeah, that's how I was trying to get some still frames. Because right here, I think I can see it more in that still frame that we have currently up there. Where's that at, Charlie? Yeah, right here, I got him at 2 minutes, 3 seconds. He's a 1,000-yard stare. Okay, I'm seeing several things here. First of all, right off the bat, is a objective.
Underwater.
That's underwater right there.
So unsure.
Do you see it?
Even though there's concern.
It's concern, but exactly. This is actually that kind of like unsureness comes from being an objective when they go in like that.
How can you tell that it's underwater rather than home?
it's an artistic palette thing you have to see, but right here he does not look confident or he's gaining energy. He looks like he's reaching. Overall to me, I read this as not being momentum for him to reach out like this.
I see what you're saying.
The other thing I'm noting is that his mouth, it looks open and slack, like yours is right now, if needed.
Yes. Yes.
He's not. I don't think he's really noting what his mouth is doing while he does this. So besides the fact this 1,000-yard stare looks more, modulation, his mouth as he's going into it, his emoting area, it does not look like he's doing that. No, like all G-Mojos will be like, They kind of like almost their mouth lets like processing. I'll be back in a second. He's not doing that. He looks a little bit lost in the moment of it.
Yes, in that one pose he does.
Yeah, I noticed that too, actually. Jai has that look to it when it looks like it's kind of lost. G looks like it's more like paying attention and processing it.
I should say he's got it.
Stuff, if anything, in the actual studio. It was mostly done in my buddy Ross's house. He was running on tour buses. He was doing a little publishing company, houses down Music Row, and just I never sang where there wasn't someone else in the room, which is not typical.
Something else I'm noticing here, watching more, he does it very quickly, but you also see he emotes when he does very quick inhales in between his talking. It's deadpan, 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 and then he'll do like little things. Again here, he's going underwater, Gumby claw, and the mouth does not look like it knows what expression's making. It's kind of like feeling whatever he's looking at there in his head.
Yeah.
He's resonating with that.
Energy just like that ahead in the room, whether it's one person or a room full of people or musicians, and so a lot of this record was done that way. The vocals are more in the moment, just the moment. I'm just much more comfortable. I don't know.
Much more comfortable. Notice when he did that, he pulled back to the right, kind of like a back little shimmy.
Yeah, we watched the film today, kind of the making of the record / what it's like to be a touring musician and also has a family, 3 kids. So it's kind of a just look at the last 2 years of my life, from touring and trying to make a record, and also just life happening. Big events like my dad passing away, and after getting pregnant and having our first boy. So there's lots that happened over the last 2 years, and it's just stuff I also tried to capture on the record. And once we started doing that, we thought it come through the house.
Was there anything else? There was a.
I think
Interesting.
there was also Stephanie.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
Stephanie Drake?
Mm-hmm.
There were some pretty weird interviews there of her.
Yeah.
You remember? That's the one thing
I think she likes to be in like awkward, like
situation,
indie sort of like interviews. Not as like popular mainstream ones.
Yeah. Yeah, little John Corwin.
Yeah, I don't. Where is he from? Like I remember him somewhere. I don't know.
He's had his own show, but yeah, I don't know where else he's from.
Is this his own show? Or are we talking about another show?
Oh, we're talking about another show.
Oh, hi, Abby. Abby, I know how interested you are in learning about comedy, so I thought I'd give you a classic comedy tip.
Yeah.
Words with the letter K in it. You may have found out what happened. This time, one day Lorraine came up to me and she said, I'm going to be back after this message. Thank you very well.
Okay, here we go. Okay, fast forward, it's 12 minutes, 3 seconds.
Nice to see you. This is your...
Yeah, the squeaky voice jumped out right away. Of course, that jumps out to a lot of people.
That was a huge part of the interview.
Yeah.
You are such a...
That squeaky voice reminded me a little bit of like some different composite of different jive.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
For example, the page, what's her name? Kristen Shaw has a little
He does a little like this. It's a little more leading lady with the assistant from Monk.
Yeah, the assistant from Monk also does that.
And I'm sure that served you very well.
It has. sad. You know, when I was growing up, we used to make fun of my voice.
Yeah, because it gives this like childlike like vulnerability, but it's like, you know, also like troublemaker.
It's like mousy hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do your parents also smell like mice? Smell like mice, yes. No, they have regular voices.
I don't know where my
She actually looks a lot like Dakota Johnson.
Like who?
Like Dakota Johnson?
Oh, Dakota Johnson, yeah. Yep.
Here you are, regular on the show. How change your life?
She does, actually. Although she's more playful. I think like more improv-y.
Yeah.
When I've seen like Dakota Johnson, I think had, when I recall, she had more poise, I guess, as part of her game. But yeah, I can
You're
see
her,
that
the girl with the mousy voice.
I wish. No one recognized me yet.
Is that right? Oh, that's going to change up this appearance.
Also got an interesting kind of game. It was kind of like
Meredith, who's your character? I've been watching a lot.
Like sweet, but then I don't know. Like it kind of brings in.
And she's very good.
This interesting kind of Z. I don't know. It was hard to kind of, but like she's really like sort of like a. I can't describe it even, but it's interesting. It was really like it can be sweet, but then it kind of like brings down the ground rules sometimes. Every now and then, I don't know.
Brings down to the ground. You mean like she?
It's kind of
like she. Well, I think it's more the momentum. Where she's really like, thank you, you know, like that kind of thing. Kind of like, I kind of like really noticed that. I was like, that seems like me shy for some reason. Hard to explain exactly what it was.
So it's like overall quality.
It's because she's sort of playing with the shy, you know, like it's more something at her, you know, disposal to do this, play the second conversation game, you know, with that she can't be authentic, but like during these improv kind of things, that's kind of how she.
And she is sweet, but she kind of like, I'm naughty sweet, and I can use that to my
advantage. Yeah, like I can see the angles that you guys are, you know, like the banter back and forth with like Alpha, and you can see it. And so she uses it, your sweetness, you know.
She's like, I'm a good girl, but I'm a very clever good girl.
Exactly.
Right.
And you handle that so well. It's almost like you do a lot of
mischievous good girl.
Because they're coming at you with this terror, and you just handle it very politely, but you also stand your ground sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, she's young, so at the same time, like I think she's a lot.
And she's also really cagey with her answers, and she like kind of diverts them away from like the more awkward areas. Sort of like the more proper kind of, I don't know, like the more appropriate responses in a way. And she's kind of like using her zhai to sort of steer this through all the patterns and stuff that she's noticing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Seemed like she uses it to steer too, like to steer or deflect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the awkwardness that like the host hits her with later on in the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she always tries to keep it like playful at the same time too.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
With John Hamm, he's supposed to be a real prankster on the set. Okay? With guys, he's supposed to do jokes with.
Not that I've ever seen.
Okay. So much for our pre-interview. Thank you very much. John Hamm is known as a great prankster, and
That's like a lot of shy and like playful shy.
Hey, Christina Hendricks is on the show. She has really good giant breasts. Everybody talks about her breasts.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
I saw her at a party. She was wearing like a low-cut dress, and I did just like in the movie.
She uses like she has her Z on, but then she uses like the shy to effect.
Yeah, does she have a good sense of humor about those things?
Shai's like,
I guess. I mean, we don't sit down and talk about them. But if I were to bring it up.
Do you ever like chat with her and realize, oh my god?
Yeah, very cagey.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's very cagey and she deflects it.
Yeah.
I'm a big viewer of TNT. I like watching TNT. I tune to a lot of things. So talk about Boomer.
Yeah, on the right, listening to Jai. Jai Adorzi and Jai.
Oh, yeah.
You worry about that?
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean?
Big guy.
Big, the way Christina Hendricks is big in her way.
Yeah, she keeps doing little bubble shots.
Yeah.
And she takes in his questions.
You know, I'm quite professional on set, so I don't, share his package, but, I'm sure I've snuck it here and there.
You snuck the feet? Yeah. And you know the shit.
You see right there, like, she kind of gives a little bit, but she makes it funny.
Right. You just.
I'm naughty. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Huh? Is that on Twitter page? Wow.
I don't follow
What's the name of that Twitter page? I'm just curious.
I think it's like Dawn Like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's going to get a lot more Twitter followers after this. Recognize him? I think somebody has to say something about you being on the biggest show.
You know, of course my family's so excited. My grandparents, they don't quite understand the show. They're very old.
Some of her mannerisms sometimes do remind me of
exactly, that's exactly what they say. Oh, we saw you. It's great.
Yeah, it's a bit more mousy.
Mousy, yeah.
It's so believable.
And they have that Jai like,
yeah. This pitch.
The laugh is similar as well. You're right. I would have thought that right away, but you are correct. They don't look alike. They don't look alike, but they do some similar moves.
She has more confidence, but yeah.
So just, saying congrats
Are we good?
So.
Yeah.
Great. Do we have anything you guys want to chat about before we do some live reading?
Mm-hmm.
All right, people are hungry. Let's do it. Bring on the live beat. That was horrible. I apologize. Bring on the works of art.
Wait, actually,
that was horrible. I apologize.
I actually did have something really quick.
Mitchell has something.
It's not really even something to talk about. Just a question. Coach, you were asking Jilene about the Frenzied Fanatic filming. I don't believe we ever. So what's the deal with that?
Have you been able to look to see if that's? Because I think I would have done it in a series. Is it possible that it could be up there, but it's on private?
I didn't see that. I'll follow up on it some more. I'll have to dig deeper.
Yeah, even I've looked for it and I've never found it before, and I've been curious about it myself.
Look at the computer, right?
Yeah, I can I'll look a little deeper.
So she'll do a deep search for that, and if she can't find it, then I will film something there.
Great, thank you so much.
Cool, and I'll definitely do some world building.
Yeah.
Although I'm bummed I don't get to use George Martin on that.
No, you.
Oh man!
Nike aren't the only ones who do world building.
But now he's a DJ male, and that's beautiful.
That is.
Or Tolkien.
At some point, we should probably have another video, an updated video about how Nijai do certain world building and how Naiji do certain world building and how it's similar and different. Because now that's a game changer to a certain extent.
World building. That's a very good. You're not the only
There's like Nijai architects and stuff like that. I mean, Nijai seem to do that kind of thing.
Or is it?
I can't even. Like, George R. R. Martin was my go-to author. Now I don't know any Nigerian authors except Stephen King.
J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, yeah.
Cool. All right. So, Jilene, we'll look into that.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and pull up our first
So.
It's also interesting, too, that the NIZ are making a presence in writing, too, especially in comedy writing.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Comedy, sure.
Yeah. Some nice actors who have turned to to writing, comedic writing.
Steve Martin.
Writing like Tina Fey.
Yeah, I think it's like
another famous one.
Getting the zinger or something. I think that might have something to, I don't know, like with the Z. I don't know. It just came to mind.
Yeah, but also the
zinger. I like that.
Yourself in those moments.
Yeah.
Another nice right?
Okay, our first sample is Maitland Ward, Maitland. Maitland. Let me put a video up, and I'll screen share the video. So.
For Jennifer Garner and Sophie, raise awareness and bring clean water to those who need it most.
Let's see. Okay, so here she is in the blue dress.
By follow, I mean stop, because I saw a really hot picture of you on a bike.
That was a lot of jutting.
It was. Feel free to respond how you feel about this, but something that's popping up to me first, because I think I'm seeing a lot of fluxations.
Yeah, I think so, and I think I'm seeing her mouth a lot of energy in her mouth, pucker.
Yes, I see a lot of energy in her mouth.
Yeah. She keeps pushing, puckering it out.
Yes.
Whoa, when she did that widening of her eyes,
those perk ups seem a little intense.
Yeah, those little V-like.
Yeah, it does.
I think. Yeah, those flashes seem like. Yeah. Endpoint looking. Yeah, I see a lot of flexation in the cheeks, and her eyes squint when she smiles.
Yeah.
I will cover the whole thing. Okay, and so the summer is here. And it's hot in LA, but not so hot. We're by the beach with your makeup on. Okay. Well, I think we have a little bit more of your little shimmers make it fun. It would be like a little glow. And this isn't our first rodeo. You know I love a rapid fire game. So we're going to play quickly. Ready? Okay. Pick a cereal, any cereal. Where was your first hit? Bad girl. You know what my first time actually.
Yeah, she keeps doing these like.
Really
Yeah. And those perk ups when she does them look really like intense and like.
Yes.
She seems directive. I feel like
Yeah.
her energy seems like.
I'm leaning that way as well.
I feel a natural pull in that direction too.
Yeah, she's always like forward.
Yeah.
How about something that you're
Yeah, she's like taking the ground. It's like.
Yeah, she kind of feels like she's an Amazon in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Amazon's a good word.
Who are you playing?
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, let's look at the next review, see where that lands us.
I am with the fabulous Maitland Ward. What brings you out today?
Well, I love the Eco suites because they just have a lot of cool products that are environmentally friendly, and they do. But we met at Eco.
Yeah, we met at the Emmy Ecos.
Emmy Eco. So we're always this Eco thing going on.
She always wears the best.
Oh, today I have on my Eco pants.
She looks, her body lines look like that.
I see the leaves and the foliage.
I think I see tenseness in them. And sort of, not necessarily like gunslinger hips, but they are sort of more rigid, structure to them.
Sure lines. So it was really fun with that. And then I'm working on different projects, and of course everybody's excited about When Girl Meets World.
Seems more blocky in a way, right? I think
more blocky.
They're original cast, but you said they're going to be doing Girl Meets World.
They are taping Girl Meets World. No
more load bearing,
really, but it's really fun show and that. And an ability to it's adorable. She's going to be such a little star. So
I love it. I love it. And also, you can follow Maitland Ward on social media at Maitland Ward, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
We're all over them, yes, all over social media. So, yeah, Maitland Ward, everywhere.
All right, that just happened, and she's on her way to another event right now, so she has to get her dress. Go.
Yes, I am. I know. I'm excited. This whole weekend is so busy. All these dresses.
I love it. That just happened. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Maitland Ward, and you are watching Scenester.tv.
Does anyone have any opinion about objective or subjective?
I think I was seeing objective.
I feel in the first video, objective and subjective wasn't quite as clear, even though I was leaning toward objective. I was still like, This one, I feel like objective may be popping a bit more. I'd like to see more, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looking at some pictures here, and I do get the eyes kind of popping out a lot. And they're kind of intense too, but they are good at perking up too as well.
Here we go.
EC 98.1.
I'm just going to ask you 2 questions straight out. I know you can't give away too much. What can you tell us about the upcoming and anticipated?
Now, the way she's standing with that hands in the hip doesn't seem like she's not letting that. It seems like adaptives sometimes let that affect their. I don't know how to explain. They grow more.
Is there just like shapes to it?
Yeah, it shapes to it. Yeah. It just landed there. It was not, she was still straight up.
Which is inherently a more boundary setting energy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see. Got out of the jungle. Yeah, got it. Well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Okay, this one was kind of short.
I'm short.
Let me see. I'll actually have to look for another interview here. Let's see. I think this one here.
You get Destiny?
Okay. Here's the link then.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Picture, best picture.
Dallas Fires Club was excellent.
Excellent. It's very heart-wrenching and hard to watch. It's so really good. I think the actor's not really
Mouth has had I seem like I noticed that before anything else.
I had the short so I was like, hey, wait a minute. Like, yeah, you're right. Okay, fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
So what's new? What projects you coming up with?
Well, aside from like telling short and stuff, I actually finished a screenplay that I didn't just finish the screenplay. I just got them into it. So that's pretty exciting. A lot of hard work, but definitely
think about the school days?
Comedy. So I never say everything about them just because they're not up and out there yet. People talked about, but I definitely Bridesmaids. I love like comedies. I'm very physical being. I can attach myself.
There's a lot, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you feel better.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm like an athlete. I like to do some kind of workout.
Are you coming back to Comic-Con this year?
I think I will be. I loved it. I had so much fun last year.
Yeah, with the Wareing party.
Yeah, Wareing Cafe.
So viewers click on this link to see the video. That's right.
Wareing Cafe was fun.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
How was that overall for you?
It was a great experience. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been down there before during that. And actually, all the people there were nice. It was a big community. It was crazy. Everybody's really helping each other. And the parties were really fun. Like when I was dressed up as Robin at the kick-ass party. So that was really fun.
Hey, tell me a movie that you're looking forward to that's coming out this year.
Yeah, well, let me see. You know what? Fault in Our Stars. I read it. It's amazing, and I'm a big fan of John Reed.
That should be Wonder Woman. I'm serious because I mean, look, nothing against Gal Gadot. Great actress, but you look like Diana Prince. You do. Yeah, you know what? That's our YouTube channel.
I think so.
And Brad, absolutely. You were here involved. That's high five on that. Great to see you. All right, see you. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Maybe look at pictures. I think I'm seeing, directive. I don't know about you guys. I think, as far as what I think I'm seeing so far, or leaning towards, is directive, objective, values-based.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
I agree. Can't disagree with you there.
Yeah. I've seen the lips really jump out at me. Face looks
Yeah.
out.
Face looks warm, but then it also has those eyes that kind of pierce and kind of look a little bit unnerving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does look a bit bionic.
Yeah, it does look bionic.
Great word.
Bionic?
Lionic. Like a
lionic.
Oh, I thought you said bionic.
I thought you said bionic too.
Bionic.
What is lionic? I don't even know what that word means.
Bionic, like a lion.
Oh, like a lion. Got it.
Yeah,
I thought it was Y. Okay, got it.
Oh, and this is the Pika Jet. That's the Pika Jet. Oh, one version of the Pika Jet. It's like she's doing Pika Jet, but it's more of like, or maybe, sorry, I'm maybe projecting some things, but I thought that's what I was seeing. I'll step back.
Oh, it's sort of like Peekaboo, like the Nijai, but it's more like.
You see the forward.
Like a G-Knight.
Yeah, you see the head go forward with it, you know.
Yeah, and also it's more bold, like 'cause it's like the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very in your face.
It's directed.
It's directive and it's objective.
Directive.
Directed, I meant, but that's
okay. Well, yeah.
That's because of the awareness.
Jinai also seemed to be very into being provocative too.
I think so. I think I would imagine like provoking the social dynamics would be a big weapon, that they would have to get people to reveal their intentions, to get things stirred up. Seems like that would be a natural environment, like the state of the environment, to gain ground for them.
Yeah, I think it has to do with like flexing out in powerful ways, and the Nai adds a kind of like Yeah, the Naiad's that interesting kind of like new ground, kind of like I'm flexing out in this kind of interesting new way that you've never seen before, and it's kind of a bit of a big deal, I think. Sort of like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, do we feel comfortable with making a call?
I think G9 seems like my first choice.
Top, yeah.
It's definitely my first choice.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
I think because the only other one I would say is maybe Nija or something, but that doesn't feel strong. I see directly.
Yeah. I was actually strong on kind of the Durons, where like I was kind of wondering like, is this like a Ronda Rousey? Maybe like a lot of V on an IG.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering too. Could an IG actually be like that?
Be like that. I think we'll say maybe then G9 and then.
Yeah, because I feel like her eyes are not hooded, and she doesn't have that kind of like psychic bandit look.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lionic, which that's a face thing. So
yeah.
We might be surprised about it, but I mean,
we could still take it by surprise, but.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I see Lionic.
Gina would probably be my first. Naiji as a good second, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Nijai.
And then Nijai. Okay.
I like that. First guess, second guess, third guess.
We say G9 as our first guess.
It is G9.
Oh.
Yay! We saw it.
The world.
And Glenn, we were talking about the provocativeness and the way they do it with the Nai adding on. The Nai adds also like a chains off quality. So it's like provocative and chains off. So it's like the new ground, but also like, you can't stop me. I can't clean this up. It's too epic. All right, let's load that one up. That was well done, team.
Yay.
It feels really good because that's a sample like I don't know if we would have gotten that one right last week.
Yeah.
But this week,
exactly.
We were really able to hold on to it.
Upgraded.
Yeah.
Bionic upgrade.
Our next sample is Kierston Wareing. It's Kierston Wareing. She's an actress.
Wareing.
Okay, here's her first link.
Looks like Raquel Welsh.
Okay, here we go. Here's her first interview. Interesting.
That's not fun. I'm trying to remember. She's a madam, but she's undercover. She runs a casino.
I've seen lips though. I don't know what she is, but I her lips to jump out.
I had quite a fun role to play a long time ago. Yeah, it was a good role. She's Italian. She's got Italian blood in her. Francesca, and just a big stone. Honestly, it was such a long time ago that I've seen it. You forget these things, but that's that one.
That seemed out jutting back and forth.
What do you think? I think it's going to appeal to the guys, the young guys. You know, a lot of these gangster films.
She touches her hair, it looks pretty.
Pretty young,
yeah. I'm sure like the 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds will be watching it and enjoying it.
I don't know, I'll just throw it out there just because it hit me as far as a fourth gear, but I don't know what this means.
I think I already know which one. Yeah, I knew it.
Julia Roberts,
yeah.
She's hitting me.
I was seeing that too.
Yeah.
So I'm noting that, but at the same time, getting rid of the scroll.
Yeah, I feel like I would have to agree with you guys.
Another job, and
I mean, I don't want to picture myself like, you know, and she might not be that. But,
yeah,
I do see.
Yeah, it's early in the game to like give a definitive read because I'm also not unconvinced that it's nice.
The third one I've done, but the fourth.
I think it's good though that we're seeing it because we had all these issues before because we were like there were a lot of misreads, I guess, as far as like some of the females go, and now we're like that pattern has kind of set its place, and now we're better able to sort of like go off of the answers, and now it's like it's more apparent. Like, okay, this is hitting me from this kind of an angle, so that must mean that it's this. So I mean, that's cool. I mean, like I think that's really good.
Yeah.
It's more reactionary, and we're more just like on the ball now overall.
We're tracking.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah, I think it adds more clarity to the female pantheon. You know, like that.
Definitely.
Adding those more.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine's not a good way to put it.
UK. I'm now working on.
She's on her lap
double
a lot and jutting.
Jesse from he did a film about Facebook. He found
her lips have a lot of energy.
Great. What am I working with him? I haven't actually started working with him. I'll start on Monday, but I just met him and he's absolutely adorable. Yeah, he's very, very distinctive, and so I'm looking forward to that. What character do you play in that one? I'm just playing. It's a small part, but I'm kind
It seems to me like the way that she keeps her hair, the way she kind of like she kind of gives off this kind of scruffy kind of energy, like more tumbled up and kind of.
Yeah. I'm curious if it's like a circumstantial thing, you know, maybe like her mood where she was at the time, or if that's just like part of her, you know, riff.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Maybe another interview will help with that.
Are you guys ready to go to another interview? I feel like we may have seen like the patterns that she presents in this one.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Naiji, I think, would be more kind of like a cat, kind of like make sure that their fur is like really nice and neat and tidy and all that. I kind of like get that kind of an idea.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know if I could
because,
say one more in there.
Yeah, just because I think I recall Naiji, you know, they can have a feral.
That's very true.
Yeah. They're always feral,
Yeah.
but they can have, you know, their riff be such that they're outwardly like wild looking.
Yeah, really unkempt feral. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely
a bucking authority and
Yeah, that makes sense.
establishing their independence of mind.
Breaking the chains.
Yeah.
Right. I see what you're saying. I think it really has to do with whether or not a Naiji is like fetish in that kind of a way.
Yeah, because
there might be.
Yeah, like a Martha Stewart, you know, like it could go to that extreme of being very like, you know, almost like Stepford wife, like very like you really mind your P's and Q's. Everything is like, you know, you're like the ideal, the avatar for, you know, like
someone's life.
Yeah, it's really meticulous woman with
living the good life.
Yeah.
At last, I can talk about it. I've just seen it on BBC One. And it's a secret and now it's out.
A lot of lip action again.
Yeah, and a lot of jutting too.
Yeah, other people's secrets. So it's,
now, I guess, you know, you guys are talking about like G versus Z. What do you guys think you see as far as her articulation? Do you have a sense or impression?
Very, very sorry. Don't know. It is Christmas Day.
It doesn't feel deadpan-y.
Yeah, it doesn't warmer. It feels like when she is articulating, I feel like I'm getting warm.
Yeah.
It just feels way more seductive. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good word
looking more
for it.
communicative.
I don't know.
Yeah, they had to put the and hats and, you know, place down.
It just seems more warmer in general. I always use Ivanka Trump as like the Mojo for Xeni females, and I know like how she sounds when she talks. It's very matter of fact, and it's very like there's a sound and the kind of things that she talks about. I don't get that sort of same feeling.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
I'm excited about her character, what happens.
I feel like
what's going, what's going on, and
more pull, more connectivity.
Yeah, I'm quite talking. I'm not so sure.
When the energy goes into articulation, then you hear kind of jazz, like in the modulation of like the voice, pitch and stuff like that. It seems like that's connected to your articulator.
You guys have a sense on like objective versus subjective?
I'm pretty much seeing objective, I think.
I see.
She does have a lot of weariness, though.
I see evidence.
Yeah, she does. That's what's confusing me, actually.
Yeah, weariness.
That's because of weariness.
Oh yeah, weariness.
Not gonna both, but.
Yeah, she does have a lot of weariness. You're right, which is why I'm still like not calling it on objective versus subjective, just because I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, just because I need to not wash over me, because she does have a
We
lot.
can wait it out.
Sure.
Maybe we can do another interview.
Yeah.
You looking forward to the event?
I am. Yes, it's fun. So, especially with beauty, so it's interesting and always.
That's very slinky.
Your products or beauty treatments?
Her lips stand out again.
What do I say about? I'm quite basic, really. I use something Anne French, which is about 100 years old, very cheap, cleanse and clean, and I use an expensive Karen Herzog Oxygen moisturiser, so which I believe is Swedish. So yeah, that's my routine. I think everyone's under a lot more pressure now. Oh, well, I don't know about this. I wasn't around about like 60 years ago, but yeah, it's probably. I think you get more and more pressure. There's more and more pressure to look good, including with the guys as well. I mean, I have seen different guys.
When she does look at him, it does look, like she's piercing through him.
I'm not doing this. I'm not waxing my
like not, an eye look.
I think a guy should wax.
But I keep seeing the mouth jump out more than the eyes do. And I think that even with like the night she had like collagen in her lips, I don't know that it would necessarily be that, to have that much energy. But
and I'm working with children, so that's going to be a bit of fun.
It looks like I see
like working with him as an actor, and obviously
over the eyes.
Oh, really?
No, he's great. He's wonderful. He's an absolute natural, and yeah, he's great. So we're having a lot of fun.
On the right, it seems to be holding her back as opposed to when she was on the left in the other interview. That was more flowing. She had more looseness, and her words just flowed. Here she seems to be holding herself on the right, which sort of builds that argument of the Bajie and Zai Mojo. But I do see flexations in the eye area.
Yeah, thanks for being my fan.
Would it be okay to maybe turn your guys' volume down? I'm having trouble with what you guys are saying a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure thing. I think
sure.
Because I feel like you guys have like a lot of nuggets, and I'm just like missing them. So I'm like,
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Like, sort of what we were noting is, what I was saying is that she had in this interview she had her head on the right most of the time, and that seemed to be holding, or like a I guess modulation, if you will. It was like a breaking quality to it. She didn't have a flow of her words, whereas in that one of those other interviews that we saw before, she was on her left most of the time, and when she was on the left, her words just flowed, and she seemed to be a lot more energized, which would add to the case of her being a she and Zai Mojo. And then the other thing I was noticing was that there was I could find flexations here in the eye area when she did smile. It went into the eyes.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you?
You were saying something about like collagen. I don't know what that.
Oh yeah. What I was saying is like, because I was just having sort of an inner monologue of like, because I am sort of, I was going in between the two neurons, and because I think I'm seeing the Jai in her lips and in her articulation and the warmness, and I see an eye piercing. So I was going back and forth, and I was thinking about her lips because that's where it seems to be having the most focus. And I was pondering, like, well, what if it's an IG that had a lot of, collagen in her lips, and that was enhanced, so it was very prominent. And then I was wondering, well, would that still, it would be prominent, but would it still have that much energy to it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was mulling over. I don't know.
And I interjected that the collagen wouldn't also explain the fact that she does have a lot of full-facedness, and the values just seem to be kind of going high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think they tend to have more like interesting kind of, like they have the unifield face, but then they got this kind of like heart-shaped head, where the cheeks kind of like come up a little bit. I think it kind of like lioness, like a lioness kind of face. Yeah.
Yeah, that has those.
That has those kind of attributes.
Very like they're usually broad and open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like with the Keira Knightley, I mean, you got to be careful sometimes. Like, are you looking at a Mojo that is like a what you think that Mojo is, like generally what they look like, or are you looking at a specific example of maybe like a shorter and smaller framed kind of version of that same Mojo? So that's kind of like
definitely have
that'd be interesting.
It helps when you have other samples that are of the same build that you could compare to it. Same physiology, same something.
Yeah. Look at pictures.
Yeah, it's just like you're trying to note, like you're trying to find gold, but sometimes gold doesn't always look the same. In like a higher temperature, it can be melting, and that might look different. If it's like if it's cast into something else, it looks different. I mean, getting a good bead on that signal of like what it means to be this Mojo is like very interesting. And we're trying to learn how to do.
Okay, so here's what she looks like here. Her eyes look weary.
Yeah.
See a lot of energy in her mouth.
Still looks aware.
Yeah, that looks hunter-like. I mean, not hunter, but like Nye.
Yeah. Momentum more view.
Yeah. I wonder, do you guys mind if I pull up pictures of Melania Trump? Because she's one that also has the lips.
Yeah, go for it.
IG, just as a matter of comparison. Melania. Okay, so she's
the eyes of
IG, yeah, her eyes look more, they're
veiled,
like more piercing and not seeing, flexations in the eye area.
More focus on the eyes, less on the lips.
Yeah, she looks kind of like Carla Bruni, who's also an IG.
Could I get a link to that actually?
Well, if you type in, we're looking at pictures of Melania Trump. So if you Google Melania Trump.
Melania Trump.
Yeah, Melania. Trump. She's Trump's current wife, and she's an IG. And she also
Trump's wife.
Oh, okay, so she's an IG. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, I thought he was with the Ziny, or is that her?
That was she turned over. She was one of the ones that turned over. So
that makes a lot of sense.
I could totally see him doing double directed.
Yeah, there's several, like Carla Bruni is also an IG, and she's with the Z9. Nicholas Sarkozy. Similar thing.
Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton?
Yeah,
that's true. There you go. There you go.
You know what's funny, too, is another one that shows up, too, is Nijai and Ziny.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually Denis's family.
And I know another one, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and here she looks like Petra Nemkova, who's also an IG. But yeah, so I think even though she has like very prominent lips, still her eyes have the most, are holding the most.
They're dreamy.
Yeah.
They're really dreamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really stands out.
Her eye, like her lips, really stand out.
Very interesting, yeah.
Okay.
She does really have a lot of. I mean, Kierston really does. Yeah. If Kierston is as piloted, it is a lot of Nye.
A lot of what?
A lot of Nye.
A lot of Nye.
Nye, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, she's like a really very, very Nye heavy kind of Gene I think.
Also Zai, too.
And Zai, too, yeah.
Yeah, with Zai, sure.
Well,
or not.
Melanie Trump, I can see, she's perceptionally than she's subjective, and that definitely shows. She kind of like drifts off, and then she kind of stays drifted off, and she's kind of in her own head, and her eyes aren't all, they're not there, in a way.
Yeah, it's easier to tell in that case,
Yeah. And it looks like it's home to her, whereas with Kierston, the weariness looks like it's something that she's trying to...
Yeah, the other thing I was considering is Nizi, but I don't have enough. I don't have a case for that too, because I keep seeing G.
That's right.
And Zai, and because they the Zai, the Nizi, some Nizi can have a pucker, like a Zai pucker, but still they're
right.
It looks different. I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
But what I can't really get past with that perspective is that Nizi do have sheer cheeks, and
those don't look sheer.
They all.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, especially with Nizi females, more than males. Interestingly enough, like the cheeks pop out to me really quickly.
No, could she be an IG? I don't know. Her eyes.
I mean, we could go back to another video.
Yeah, let's go back to another video.
What about, like, are we firm on the directiveness of her? Kierston Wareing?
Well, I mean, we could put that on the table.
Yeah, we can put that on the table.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe we could also try throwing Vijay into the pot and see what happens.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
I can see Vijay being a slight candidate here also.
Yeah. Is that her eyes seem so piercing.
Right. They do.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think this one here has gesturing. Should be good to see.
Let's see it.
So the sheer cheeks is a cue for Z, or is that for Zai? Just one.
Yeah, both based, and Z and Zai Mojos, they have sheer cheeks. and the localized emoting. So yeah.
Right.
There you go. And here's the next one. Okay, here we go.
And the wardrobe is fantastic, and the makeup. And then obviously, I like, he said what it is. Going to so put the bags on.
Could that be localized G? No, I don't. I think I saw flexations on her cheeks and its
Yeah.
I feel like we don't. I think it's also important maybe not to overthink it.
Yeah.
Maybe we might be trying to make it something other than what it really is. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think we're doing good.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because we're not kind of wobbling.
I feel like we're doing good yet.
Yeah. Because we're kind of just eliminating any possible doubt that this needs to be.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm leaning around. And that was
That one high, yeah.
Okay. So I think I would be comfortable saying okay.
Yeah, that seems like the top one.
Yeah, Jinai.
Jinai, Naiji.
Else?
I'm academically.
Yeah.
I couldn't go Zaini just because like that seems like
It
it
would.
goes way above.
And quickly.
Yeah. Quickly. She
Also, the
articulated
lips were
faster.
much more substantial, too.
Yeah.
Right. That's a very good point.
It almost looks like it's localized, huh?
Yeah, but then again, like I think I have to recalibrate also what localized G looks like because there were several, Shinai and Naiji who were in the Zaini pile before, and I feel like now I'm gonna have to
Now, here's the thing.
like recalibrate some of that stuff.
Are we talking localized in where Bizai or Nizai could be in there, or localized specifically talking about Zaini? Because if we look at like gesturing, like not really any evidence of spider hands.
Yeah, no, not evidence of Gumby.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about Kierston?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not seeing dancing at all. I'm just not seeing.
Which was like.
I don't even see. No. I was confused because you were considering the ad serves. But
Yeah.
I'm just not seeing dancing.
Yeah.
That's a good
I don't
point.
see.
There is no dancing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't understand why Gumby Claw would even.
Yeah.
It seems like it really just.
Yeah, we were.
We're trying to rule everything out.
Yeah. So I think what Jinai and second guess Naiji. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would guess it the other way around.
Okay.
Okay.
Good guess.
I would put Naiji on top, but
You're putting Naiji on top.
Okay.
I think. Okay. So.
But I mean, yeah, I could see it either way.
Okay. So. I think the majority is saying Jinai and Naiji is second.
Cool.
What's the answer?
Well, I'm going to check my work here. But what I had, just I had Naiji. Let me check my work.
You know what? That
Good
really,
job, Ben.
And I believe, Jailene, you were really going down a good trail with the collagen lips. When I looked up pictures of her, you'll see there's quite a range in her lip size. And a little detective tip of the day, whenever I see someone has a different range in their appearance, I try and find the most natural ones and really hone in on those, because otherwise it can be misleading. Because she does look like she has a lot of energy in her mouth, but that's because they're quite augmented. And so the thing to look for is, I believe her drifts are going home, and the ones you were talking about, which was there's two you mentioned, and they're both good ideas. Melania Trump and also Carla Bruni. Yes, so you actually are on a good trail there. She actually has more V, so she hides it more. But you'll notice when she's talking, I believe I'll look back and check my work, but she looks down quite a bit. She looks down, looks comfortable quite a bit. And when she was doing her hair, you guys are noting that the energy of that. Both the directives have more of a yang energy. The difference is, I noticed that the Genii tend to have more like a mane, and then they'll kind of like tousle their mane. Yeah. But this kind of like almost itching your head seems to be kind of like an outlet for nigh nervous energy. And so
this seemed like she was like scratching it as opposed to like. And
you'll see a lot with like Naiji, for example, female music artists, and the guys, but definitely females a lot of times. One thing they do to kind of feminize their nervous energy is they'll play with their hair because that's kind of feminine. But they tend to have like a scratching, tugging on it kind of quality, and just sort of like almost like a nervous busyness. And so I think that's what I was seeing there. I'll look at it again. But the lips are quite distracting, so don't feel bad about that. I had to look at it for a while. I want to look again.
Yeah, she seems very much like a fortune teller kind of riff. Like,
no,
exactly.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of scruffy and
yeah, I got that off of her too.
A little.
Like a psychic.
So yeah, Ben, you were tracking on it, man. That's good.
Well done.
And that's good. You actually were on something when you actually were checking that, because Celine told you to check on that riff.
Yeah.
But what happened is when you guys did the riff check on those two, then you didn't.
Yeah, I was like still not sure because the eyes could still.
But that was good. But
we thought it strayed rather than it converging.
Instinct.
Yeah, it seemed like they had more energy than in the other ones, but yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice on the pictures, though, if you look on the Google pictures or whatever, that there's a wide range in their lip size, and actually their natural size is noticeably thinner.
The huge secret, and now it's out. My name is
We're watching that interview that she had with the Russian fur hat.
I've been keeping the secret, so it's really so excited for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess she's down there and
she drifts comfortably for a while. She also has a broad face.
Yeah, she has a broad face.
Yeah.
But then too, if you see other pictures of her, her lips seems thinner and her face seems thinner. She's tough. She has quite a range in her appearance. I'm curious. You mind if I get another interview?
Yeah.
Because she seems a bit, I don't know, puffy here or something.
Minimize that.
Yeah, I mean, amongst the photos, you can see a pretty large difference.
Yeah, and right there, even there, do you see that clip that just jumped to? Her lips look fairly, plump here with the Russian hat. That clip that it showed her in a movie, they look noticeably larger. Whatever movie that was, they looked.
Yeah.
Almost, I was like, is that her? But is there?
If you go.
You find me another one. Find the one where she was actually scratching her head, please.
The one where she was scratching her head. I think it's this one.
Did you look close to
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah. Here, pay attention to how much he's drifting.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. She does a very good job actually doing it, but she doesn't keep eye contact very much.
And I think you were onto something, Glenn, with like when we had the discussion about her like tousled hair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You were on something there.
Yeah.
Very cheap.
Uh,
And I use an expensive Karen Herzog Oxygen moisturizer, which I believe is Swedish. So that's my routine.
Yeah, I believe a Sing Huntress here. But she's tough because she's got a lot of V. She has a broader face, and those lips have been enhanced.
Yes.
More pressure. There's more pressure.
But here again, look how long she's looking down. See how long she's looking down and how comfortable it was? Those drifts, again, they freeze on those. Those drifts look confident. You're right here. That looks like natural channeling. I could be wrong, but I think that's natural state channeling.
Now they seem, I think a guy should wax his chest, let me just say that, but now they're kind of they're worried if one hair's out of place. So yeah.
Also, her speaking rhythm, it was not as comforting. It's interesting that the G9 are more provocative in some ways, but still more steadying. Hers has staccato energy. Let me play back here a little bit. When she talks, it has a bit of a furtiveness.
Yeah, it's a little more edgy.
Edgy.
You're right.
That's my routine.
Yeah, that's not routine. That's more.
I think everyone's under a lot more pressure now. Well, I don't know
And she
about
talks quicker when she's drifting. When she's, see here? Her speech slows when she comes up.
I think you get more and more pressure.
She's here for a while.
Including with the guys as well. I mean, I have seen difference.
See, she slows when she looks up.
Yeah, you're right.
She's not going.
Their speech increases with the facial look. When they go to their nod, they keep talking, but they slow a bit when they go to the nod. Here it's reverse.
I think a guy should race.
Right.
They kind of, they're worried if one hair's out of place. So yeah.
Her energy, it's slinky, but it's a little edgier slinky.
Yeah, I should have gone also like, because I was thinking like going the route of looking at Lindsay Lohan because she also has the hand slips and sort of does that slinky feline sort of seduction game.
And see how she moved her head there? She went to the nigh drift a bit, and then she snapped it back. There's more of like we talk the lull of percussion of the Naiji hand rhythm gesturing. They also have it with their head.
Yeah.
Like she kind of looked up, snapped it back. She's smoothing it, but it's a little more dragon head.
So watch out for it.
Slide, very slide, in a good way. Yeah, she's not drifting very naturally, and she's actually giving the impression of a lot more frontal contact than she's giving.
Exactly. I think that's what's confusing us a little bit.
Yeah, she stands the frontal, gives a lot of smile, but actually she looks around, down a lot. It's quite a bit of channeling. And she squints here as well.
Yeah, thanks for being my fan.
You see her body movement too? It's a little more edgy than Ned's pilots.
Just be
Good, excellent.
cool.
Well done. So you guys got the first one, very close to that second one. Actually, Ben, you got it, and Jarlene, you were actually tracking some good stuff there.
Here's our second answer.
Yeah. Well done. Excellent. Very happy. And it seems like you guys did pretty good in the quiz as well.
Yeah.
So, excellent.
Yeah, that was a lot better than for me at least than a lot of the previous quizzes. Of course, it was out 5-2, but you know.
No, that's fine. That's because we're this kind of art I'm trying to train you guys to do is art and science. It's unprecedented. So I'm not quite sure what the sweet spot is. So I'm learning as we go. So this is excellent. I think we find it. Then when new people come in and so forth, we actually know what will be challenging but enjoyable. Won't overwhelm them.
That's right.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
It's going to be very important.
We'll have learned like the best strategies in order to do it right.
Exactly. And I think we're really dialing it in here. Okay. If there's something else, then I guess we can go ahead and call it this evening. Can everyone stay on the call real quick? We'll just go ahead and take it off live. So bye, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.
But everyone stay on real quick here. Stay on the.
Okay, we're on.
Stop.